Welcome in, Knicks Nation, to the second annual team preview. I did it last year. I'm back doing it this year. This is the 2023-2024 edition. The NBA season is upon us, and I'm excited. I'm going to go through everything. Coaching, players, bench, what I expect to see from the guys this season, who I expect to take big rises this season, who I expect to take steps back, maybe, possibly. But I'm going to get into it all. Once again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And let's get going. All right, so as we all know, last season was such a great season for the New York Knicks. Going all the way to the second round of the playoffs, nobody thought we would reach the second round of the playoffs, but we got there, took the Miami Heat to 6 games. Could have been a 7th game. During that playoff series, a lot of players took steps forwards. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is a rock. Julius Randle had the ankle injury. RJ Barrett was amazing versus the Cavs. Immanuel Quickley got hurt versus the Miami Heat series. Versus the Cleveland Cavaliers series, wasn't really himself. But hey, all of our guys are young. They were growing. That was some of them. That was their first playoff experience. So let's just put that in the rearview mirror and look towards this season. And I honestly think we can reach there again. We'll see how things shake out. But last year's in the past, and now we are in year 2023, 2024, new season. In-season tournament is also upon us as well. That should be exciting. A lot of players and fans don't like it, but I'm intrigued by it. We pretty much came into the season with the same guys. We replaced Obi Toppin with a DiVincenzo. We got smaller, but we got better in terms of shooting the rock. Defensively, we got better as well. Obviously, DiVincenzo has chemistry with Brunson and Josh Hart, all the Nova guys. And, I do think that Obi Toppin wasn't given his opportunity, but that's neither here or there. He's in Indiana. Obi Toppin does really well in Indiana. But, we really didn't make a big splash this summer. We just, acquired a shooter, which we needed. We got DiVincenzo in here. So our starting lineup is probably going to be Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. With the bench unit of Immanuel Quickley, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein. And I honestly think that's it. I think that Tom Thibodeau, bearing an injury, is going to sprinkle in, maybe an Isaiah Roby. Jericho Sims' name was mentioned during the media day. He could play some 4 depending on the matchup. But I think Tom Thibodeau is really going to play Josh Hart at that 4 position. And Josh Hart can guard a lot of big men. And he can guard a lot of people. He's very versatile. And, I'm intrigued to see that. I'm intrigued to see Josh Hart, guarding these bigger 4s. But this is the way the NBA is going nowadays. Just look at Boston in our own conference, in our own division. All they have down there is Porzingis. They have Jason Tatum essentially playing the 4. So, I think the Knicks should be fine in that regard. In terms of the starting lineup, I just want to see another year of this build. I want to see more growth out of Quentin Grimes especially. I have high hopes for Quentin Grimes this year. I feel like he can be that sniper shooter that we need. He was working with J.J. Redick this past summer. So I really think that this is the year that Quentin Grimes takes that step forward and improves his game, improves his handle. He's so quick with his decision making, and his playmaking is very underrated as well. And as we all know, his defense has been locked down since he came into the league, which is why I think he's a Tom Thibodeau favorite. He's a fan favorite, and he took Evan Fournier's job. Still got Evan Fournier on the team as well. Yeah, so the starting 5, I just want to see another year with the group, another year with the Quentin Grimes growing, another year of Jalen Brunson. Hopefully Brunson can get that all-star nod this season. Got snubbed last season. We know what we're going to get from Jalen Brunson. We're going to get scoring night in, night out. He's going to win us some games. He's going to distribute the rock. His efficiency is going to be there. Mid-range jump shot, pull-up is going to be there. Everything's going to be there. Fade away. I mean, he's amazing. So we know what we're going to get from Jalen Brunson. I'm excited to see another year out of him. He was simply incredible in the playoffs. So now let's get to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, congrats to winning the bronze medal for Team Canada. RJ Barrett, another super young player. He's starting his extension this season. Last season, he was up and down. It was a very bumpy ride for RJ Barrett during the season last season. Efficiency-wise, he took a step back. His shot was just not working for him all season long. And, when playoffs came, it was like a different RJ Barrett, especially versus the Cavs. It was simply incredible to see, and that's the RJ Barrett that we hope to get this season. We hope to get his efficiency up. I want to see him around 35 to 40%. I'm not sure he can be a 40% three-point shooter, but I feel like he can get to close to it, because if RJ Barrett is in the corner hitting those corner threes like he's capable of, and he's shown us that he could shoot 40%. He shot 40% a few years back. So, he's just constantly shooting in the gym, constantly working on his game, and constantly flowing within the offense. I feel like this could be also a big year for RJ Barrett. And also we have the chemistry with the starting five, another year under their belt. So I'm sure that's going to be an advantage against most teams, but it's the NBA. Anything can happen on any given night. So RJ Barrett, I feel like his ceiling, before last season, I thought RJ Barrett's ceiling was an all-star. I don't think he can get there. It's hard with all these great players in the Eastern Conference. I don't think RJ Barrett could get to an all-star game. He just has to improve on little increments of his game, dribbling, his burst, his speed. He's just a bigger wing that can, take advantage of the situation. He's great around the rim. He's great going to his left hand, as we all know. And, another year of improvement for RJ Barrett. He did great things for FIBA Canada. And I just feel like that can translate into this new NBA season as well. So fingers crossed for RJ Barrett that he shoots the rock really well this season, because we need it, man. We need it for sure, especially when the guys are, not shooting the rock efficiently. Brunson, if he's off on a particular night, Julius Randle. We need RJ Barrett to be that rock. And I feel like this year he will take a step forward from last season. Now let's get to Julius Randle. Number 30, Julius Randle. He's been a polarizing player in New York City. You hate him, you love him. Look, he got hurt during the playoffs last season. He was incredible for the first pretty much 82 games of last year. He was incredible. Got hurt there at the end. Stepped on Bam Adebayo's foot. Wasn't the same in the playoffs, right? He just wasn't the same. But he can build off of last season, man. He was an all-star, third-team All-NBA for Julius Randle again. And whether Knicks fans want to hear this or not, he was a very important reason as to why we finished where we finished. I mean, we wouldn't be where we were without Julius Randle. That's just a fact, man. He 25 and 10. He's a bucket getter. He can shoot the three. He can pretty much post anyone up. He's very crafty. His dribble skills are there. It's just sometimes he, can take a few possessions off, game in, game out. Does he make you want to scratch your head and tear your head off some nights? Yes. I would lie to you if I didn't say that. But look, it's hard to argue Julius Randle putting up these numbers. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 34% from three. That can improve a little bit. He also said during media day that he wants to improve his efficiency. As we all know, his numbers during the playoffs are not that great efficiency-wise. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's one of the worst players all time efficiency wise in the playoffs. I think I saw a graphic about that during when the playoffs were happening. 46% field goal percentage for Julius Randle, 4 assists per game. I want to see the assists go up. I think the most underrated part of Julius Randle's game is his playmaking. And he's shown us last season the flashy passes, the passes behind the back. That's what we need in our starting lineup, more playmaking. We have Quentin Grimes. Jalen Brunson's, not that, passive point guard. He's a shoot-first point guard. So if we can compile Julius Randle with the Quentin Grimes and in that starting lineup and have them play make and have them get guys to their spots, get guys that open shot, I feel like Julius Randle can take his game to the next level. And I feel like, yes, there is a level that Julius Randle can still reach. There is another level that he can still reach, because I feel like 4 assists per game, if that jumps to 6, 7 assists per game, and then his points come down, because we really don't need him to score that much, 22, 23 points a game, and his assist numbers go up. As long as he, stays healthy, which he has, and he's played 77 games last season, I want to see his assist numbers go up. And then I feel like this Knicks team would be rolling. Obviously, we had some great wins last year. We had Boston's number. Miami Heat, we gave them issues as well. It's just that during the playoffs, nothing was clicking. Everyone was off. Everyone was cold. People were hurt. It was, it stunk. But I feel like Julius Randle, another year under his belt. He did switch agencies now. Don't really know what that means. He says it's to be closer to RJ Barrett. I don't know what that means exactly. Does that mean that, he sees all these Nova guys over here and he wants to be closer to RJ Barrett over here? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But he switched agencies. Whether the Knicks have him on the trade block, I doubt it, because his relationship with Leon Rose is up here. So, Julius Randle, another year. I'm just excited to see him because, look, Knicks fans, he's been good for us. And, I know he has his ups and downs. And when he has his downs, I come on here during the post games and I come in here and I make videos about it. So when he has his downs, I call him out, and we all should call him out. We're fans, but at the end of the day, we're passionate, and it's just the right thing to do. So Julius Randle, hope he has a great year, and I feel like he will have that great year. Now let's get to Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup. Mitchell Robinson signed a 4-year, $60 million contract before last season. And Mitchell Robinson was incredible for us, man. Mitchell Robinson's numbers last season, 7 points a game, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. I want to see him average a double-double. I really do. I really want to see, more lobs from Mitchell Robinson this year. And I feel like his free throw percentage, I would just get that in the 50s, Mitch. 55%, 60% free throw shooter, and we're golden, man. 59 games played last season for Mitchell Robinson, 7 points, 9 rebounds, and averaging almost 2 blocks a game. But what's great about Mitchell Robinson was his offensive rebounding numbers, especially in the playoffs. He was especially in the Cavs series, he was simply amazing for us, just simply dominating Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Every year he says that he wants to expand his game. Every year that we see a video of him shooting jump shots and whatnot, we want to see it in the game, man. Take a 3-point shot at least one time, and, all of us Knicks fans would be like, oh, okay, Mitch. But no, Mitch, he's a rock for us. He does all the dirty work. He blocks shots. He grabs rebounds. And especially the offensive rebounds, those extra possessions are very vital. Give us more points. Give us more opportunities to score. Mitchell Robinson, only 25 years old. You see the trend here, man. You see the trend in the starting lineup, which is why I feel like the Knicks have punted on some of these guys that have been traded. Drew Holiday, Bradley Beal, Porzingis. Last year they punted on a few guys because, look, it just simply doesn't fit with their timeline. You have guys, and they're all in their 20s in the starting 5. The Knicks are one of the youngest teams in the league. So another year with Mitchell Robinson locking down that starting center role would be great. And I'm excited to see it all. So there's your starting 5, Brunson, Barrett, Grimes, Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Tom Thibodeau did say that there may be a competition there at starting shooting guard position, but he did say that, it's hard to argue the numbers in terms of Quentin Grimes in that starting slot. So I do think that would be the starting 5. The one person that I feel like who can change us dynamically is Quentin Grimes. Too many times last season, Quentin Grimes was shooting 5 shots a game, 6 shots. You look at the box score, it's 5 field goal attempts, 6 field goal attempts for Quentin Grimes. And I would just come on the post games and be like, that is too low for your starting shooting guard position. You have to make him shoot at least 10 shots a game, give him at least 5 threes a game. He is too good of a shooter to be just taking 5 shots a game. So I feel like the more opportunities Quentin Grimes gets, the better player he becomes. And the defender that he is already can only just take him to a next level. And he, in my opinion, will be a star one day in the NBA. Book it. You heard it here first. All right, now let's get to this almighty bench. The one thing that the Knicks have, advantage-wise over these other teams in the Eastern Conference is their depth. Our bench is essentially 3 great guards coming in off the bench with a great backup center in Isaiah Hartenstein. Immanuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Let's start with Isaiah Hartenstein first. Isaiah Hartenstein, if you don't remember last season, he started off very slow, and then he was working his way up. He started off pretty good, and then towards as the season went on, he actually took a step back, got hurt a little bit. Maybe the injury plagued him a little bit on the court. But Isaiah Hartenstein, we thought that he was going to come in here and just shoot threes, and we saw it last preseason that he was shooting threes, hitting threes, and I was like, wow, I am not ready for a stretch 5 in this league. I'm not ready for a stretch 5 on the New York Knicks, but he rarely attempted any 3-point shots. Let's look at Isaiah Hartenstein's stats last season. He averaged 5 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 53% from the field, and he only attempted 37 threes on the season. So, the season prior, he attempted 30 with the Los Angeles Clippers, so he can hit the 3, and I feel like that's coaching. I feel like there's ways to scheme Isaiah Hartenstein open, possibly in a corner, that he can knock down more of those threes. I know Tom Thibodeau doesn't really want him to shoot those threes. So I'm not saying I want Isaiah Hartenstein to shoot more threes. I mean, I really do want to see it. But Isaiah Hartenstein, another one, coming in off the bench, grabbing those offensive rebounds. So you sub out Mitchell Robinson, you bring in Isaiah Hartenstein, pretty much the same player. And Isaiah Hartenstein, more of a playmaker coming in off the bench. He got guys involved. He's a great screener along with Mitchell Robinson. And Isaiah Hartenstein, to me, is an underrated playmaker, and I feel like the Knicks utilize him well last year of his contract, so he could possibly be a trade piece come trade deadline, depending what the Knicks do or depending on our record come trading deadline. So Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm excited to see him for another season as well. Now let's hit the two Nova boys and Josh Hart and Donte DiVincenzo. I think I'm more excited to see Donte DiVincenzo just because he's the fresh new toy, right? He's the guy that we signed a contract over the summer. He's the guy that played with the Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings. He's bounced around the league, the Milwaukee Bucks. What I like about Donte DiVincenzo is he's a great shooter, number one. He's feisty, number two. On the defensive end, he's a pest, and he could really defend as well. So we got guys that are hungry. We got guys that are really going after the ball, going after their defender, and can also play make and shoot the rock as well. Essentially replaces the Obi Toppin role. Obi Toppin three-point shooting was up and down. But in terms of Donte DiVincenzo, I'm excited to see him play especially alongside Immanuel Quickley coming in off the bench, that second unit. I'm sure Tom Thibodeau is going to mix and match, Brunson with IQ, with Josh Hart here, or Josh Hart playing with RJ Barrett, or Donte DiVincenzo playing with Barrett and Randle. I'm excited to see those staggered lineups as well. But, Donte DiVincenzo is the fresh new toy in here, and I'm just excited to watch him play. He will help us in terms of shooting the rock, that playmaking ability, the chemistry with the guys. He already has chemistry with Brunson and Josh Hart. So excited to see Donte DiVincenzo play. And, he's a bigger guard too. He's not small. He's not on the Quickley side. Quickley's a little smaller. So Quickley will be running the ship with the second unit. And now let's get to Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley, I saved pretty much the best for last. Immanuel Quickley last season was arguably the biggest leap out of the New York Knicks guards or players. Obviously, Jalen Brunson, we didn't know what we were going to get out of him. But IQ, last year was simply incredible. Thing about IQ last year that I liked is that he was very consistent. When he started, he was very consistent as well. He just was great in his role. Playmaking, defensively, took major strides defensively. You look at Immanuel Quickley, smaller guard, 6 foot. You're like, oh, I could take this guy. No problem. No, he led the NBA in terms of analytics and, in terms of the back end numbers. He was, one of the top guards coming in off the bench, and his defense has really improved. And that's the one thing I love to see about IQ. He's not afraid of the moment. And honestly, he could start on many teams in the NBA. It's just a luxury for the New York Knicks to have him coming in off the bench. And, Josh Hart could also start on a lot of teams in the NBA. Knicks are a deep team, but IQ, efficiency, I just want to see him, hover around the 38 to 40% three-point shooting wise. And I feel like he could do that. He could pull up from, 30 feet and knock a three, knock a triple in your face. He can take you off the dribble, and he can get stronger. We've seen him in the summer in the lab, building his muscle, building his strength. Playoffs, it sucked that IQ, we wanted to see more of IQ, but he just wasn't the same, didn't really have the same juice that he had during the season. But, for some of these guys, it was their first time in the playoffs, and, hopefully this year can knock the rust off and we can get right back to it. And, he can sustain the regular season numbers in the playoffs and we can get it rolling. Because I feel like with our starting five, yes, Boston got Jrue Holiday. Yes, the Bucks got Damian Lillard. Would I have liked a Jrue Holiday on the New York Knicks? Yes. But I just feel like the Knicks are a deep team. And you're bringing in those three guys off the bench along with another great offensive rebounder, Isaiah Hartenstein. We can compete with anybody. Tip the ball up, man. I'm ready. Tip the damn ball up. And, these other teams on paper may be better than the New York Knicks, but we got that heart. We got that New York grit. And I'm just excited for this season to begin. Some other notable names that I haven't mentioned. Another season of Miles McBride. And last year, he had some great moments. I remember the Portland game when he came in off the bench and was simply incredible for us. Obviously, we know that he's very He's a very great defender. Just needs to work on his offensive game more. Another season out of Miles McBride. Once again, only 23 years old. Jericho Sims. Tom Thibodeau said that Jericho Sims will play more of that 4. Like, let's say we're facing a team with a bigger 4. When giving Julius Randle a breather, we can bring in a Jericho Sims, and he's a bigger guy, man. He's 6'9". He's more of a forward, to be honest with you. He's listed as a center, but he's more of a forward. Obviously, offensively, he's kind of limited in that regard. But I'm always excited to see Jericho on the court with his serious face. And, I'm just excited to see it going. Some training camp invites: Dylan Windler, Dwayne Washington Jr., Jacob Toppin. Obi Toppin's brother is on the team as well. Jalen Martin is on the team as well. Daquan Jeffries, shout out to him, Summer League guy. I really liked his game in the Summer League. Ryan Arcidiacono is also here. Jalen Brunson's boy, another Villanova guy. He's probably a professional guy doing things behind the scenes, helping guys out behind the scenes. That should be, pretty cool as well. Tom Thibodeau loves his professionalism. Good to see him back. Charlie Brown Jr. as well. And then we have number 13, Evan Fournier, who has been in the news. Tom Thibodeau pretty much fired back, saying that, it's hard to argue the numbers. He released, he pretty much stated the record without Evan Fournier in the starting lineup. And he said that we had a plus 5 net rating without Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier wants to play. Last year on his deal, it will probably be a trade piece, probably be included in a trade piece during the trading deadline. I honestly thought the New York Knicks would trade him this past summer. Couldn't find a trade partner for Fournier. Just hope that he's not, somebody on the bench who's giving us problems. And I just hope that he's done talking. Just stop talking, sit at the end of the bench, stay there like a good boy, and we'll find you another trade partner as the season progresses. So that is the squad. That is the squad. That is the starting 5. That is the bench. That is the guys off the bench. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I feel like we will fall in that 3 to 5 range in the Eastern Conference this year. I think Philadelphia will take a step back. Obviously, we have Boston and Milwaukee on top. I do feel like we're better than Cleveland. Cleveland improved as well. Miami will always be up there. I feel like we can make it back to the second round depending on who we match up in the first round as well. Coaching. Tom Thibodeau, another year. Knicks didn't sign him to an extension. Tom Thibodeau is like Julius Randle. You hate him or love him, another polarizing guy. I do feel like this is my opinion. I do feel like this is Tom Thibodeau's last year because I feel like the Knicks at some point are going to hit a ceiling. And I feel like Tom Thibodeau can only bring them so far. And we've seen it in the past. Teams that are run by Tom Thibodeau, they burn out. And you just need that fresh blood to come in here and just take over and hopefully can bring us to the promised land, like a Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr kind of situation when Steve Kerr took over from Mark Jackson. And I just feel like that will be the case for the New York Knicks. Not to say Tom Thibodeau has done great things in New York, coach of the year here. He's built a culture here. So I feel like he will, he's still here. He's still our coach. But if the Knicks were to go that direction, like he would stay in the organization. But things I want to see differently from Tom Thibodeau: make your damn adjustments, especially in the playoffs, because that was something that pissed me off a lot. It seemed like he got out-coached a bit. Eric Spoelstra is a genius, but it seemed like Tom Thibodeau, we could have used shooting in the playoffs, and he refused to play Evan Fournier. He refused to play Derrick Rose. Not to say those guys would have, made a difference, but we just needed some fresh blood, and Tom Thibodeau was stubborn. Now that's another thing. He's stubborn. He gets in his own way. And, he just refuses change. And I just feel like that can get you in trouble sometimes. And it got us in trouble versus the Miami Heat. So, Tom Thibodeau, another year. I just feel like it will be another great year for the New York Knicks in that regard. Now, Tom Thibodeau is led by his associate head coach and Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant is with the New York Knicks. Again, shout out to Johnny Bryant, always working behind the scenes with the players. Players love the guy, man. Johnny Bryant's been around in this league for a while now, and I feel like maybe Johnny Bryant can be that guy replacing Tom Thibodeau. No, I'm just saying. But Johnny Bryant is still there. We still have Jalen Brunson's dad, Rick Brunson. Daniel Brady, Andy Greer, Larry Greer, Othello Harrington. Should be a pretty cool year, guys. And that is your 2023-2024 New York Knicks team preview. I'm ready to tip the ball off. If you're ready, hit that subscribe button. We will be here all year. I will be here all year making videos about the New York Knicks, post games, you name it. I will be here. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Let's go Knicks. I appreciate every single one of you. Catch you guys on the next time. Peace.